We left the plaque outside in the barn. Oh, no, it's much warmer in the house.
You need to decide on the right time for a remembrance service of some kind. Here, I'll get...
I appreciate it. Thanks. I'll get it. Coming. Hi. Hi.
Ian, did you bring your father's notes?
They're gone. The notes have been stolen.
No.
What the hell is going on?
Who brought us this basket of goodies anyway?
The elevator repair guy.
Oh, right, the
Yeah.
elevator repair guy.
This is
yes,
the
yes.
place to be.
Hi, Connie.
Hi, Morgan. Want to join the fight?
Let's see. Oh, sure do.
What are you signing?
A petition in favor of Doctors Harrison and Hudson.
Oh, that over here.
No, this one's the patient petition.
Oh, thanks.
Is this one?
Thank you.
I'm glad you're doing this. This is great.
Yeah, I didn't think you people in pathology were so human.
We're not.
Oh.
Some lady in the cafeteria started the patient petition going. A new cook.
Kate Baker.
Yes. John Hudson treated her child, and it sort of took off from there. And
Well, John and Kelsey, you're definitely worth the effort.
right. Thanks.
Thank you.
They're, bringing the rapist back to the lab for round 2.
What do they need another autopsy for? The guy took a bullet in the chest.
What's going on? Another stiff. Just day in the life.
Yeah, I heard something about another autopsy.
That's right. We're cutting Kyle Barkley open again tonight. It's a command performance. You want to watch?
Victor has no alibi. Victor is going to jail. I have witnesses, Felicia. Your alibi's been blown sky high.
And arrest Victor.
Why, Felicia?
Because
Why?
I shot Kyle. Because I did it. Come on.
Felicia, what are you saying?
I'm sorry. I should have come forward a long time ago. I just thought the agreement,
Look, I know.
Lauren,
It's okay, sweetie. It's okay.
It's killing me watching you go through this all by yourself, honey. I just never thought it would go this far.
Why'd you
I
think
swear
that,
to
Felicia?
God. Because I knew that he was innocent.
Felicia, this isn't one of your damn romance novels. Sometimes the good guy goes to jail.
Well, not this time. Not this time. All right. I lied to you, Ryan. I'm sorry.
And you think that's supposed to make
No,
everything all better?
of course not. Please. Please. Let me tell you what really happened that night. Please.
Be careful, Felicia. I think before you do that, you should call your lawyer.
It's the nursery.
Yeah.
Charlie wants her money.
Nope, I think Charlie's calling to say she misses her dad.
Charlotte Frame Winthrop's mother speaking.
Her father's here, too.
Frankie, is Cass there? Could I talk to him, please?
Yeah, sure. Hold on. It's Felicia, and something's wrong.
I'm here, honey. What's up?
I'm down at the police station. I need you, Cass.
What happened?
I'm sorry to take you away from Frankie and the new baby.
I'll be right there. You stay calm. Do you hear me? Felicia,
I'm trying.
don't talk to anybody until I get there.
Please hurry, Cass. Please.
NBC congratulates our soap opera award winners.
Patrick Muldoon.
Louise Surratt.
Scott Groff.
Deborah Adair. Lisa Rita!
Melissa Reed.
Jake Hogeston.
Robert Kelper Kelly.
The favorite show is Days of Our Lives.
Check out the winners on Days of Our Lives. Congratulations.
Hold it. If you know who's got it in for us, you've got to tell us.
I don't know if it's somebody who has it in for you per se.
Ian, our medical careers could go down the toilet tomorrow. Now we have a right to know.
I know, but until I find this person and find out the truth, I'm not going to give out their name.
Look, Ian, I don't know if you understand, but if we lose our privileges at Bay City General, we won't be able to get jobs anywhere else. And if a formal complaint is made to the medical
And
association...
Spader will make sure that the one will be filed.
We could lose our licenses. And the world will lose 2 of its best doctors.
Kelsey, I understand. As soon as any of my suspicions are confirmed, I will let you know.
But there's still a chance that Rachel Corey might come back in time to testify, isn't there?
Actually, that's not looking so good either. I thought for sure she'd see the ad I placed in the Times by now, but she hasn't
Paulina,
called.
the ad was a good idea.
But it didn't work, Kelsey.
It's still running, isn't it? There's a chance you could come back.
Yes, I guess we have to hope.
Well, we'll be there tomorrow.
Thank you, both.
If I find out anything about the notes, I'll let you know as soon as I do.
Thanks.
Keep the faith, okay?
I'll
We'll
try.
be there.
See ya.
Bye.
Felicia, you ask me for my help, and then you won't let me give it. We need to talk in private before you do this.
He's right, Felicia.
I love you, both of you. But I think it's too late for that. I've hurt so many people by holding back. Mostly you, Victor. And maybe if she hears about it, Lorna will come home.
Yeah, but come home to what? You've got to give yourself a fighting chance.
It's okay. I'm ready, Ryan.
Interview with Felicia Gallant concerning the murder of Kyle Barkley. Go ahead.
That night, I went back to the studio.
What time was that?
It was late. We really did go to Lorna's apartment. We wanted to stay, but she didn't want us to. Victor and I left together. I asked him if he wanted to go for coffee. He didn't. So I went back to KBAY.
For what purpose?
I wanted to get the videotape of the interview I had done on Lorna.
What was so important about that? Why couldn't it wait until morning?
I was worried about it. The interview had gone so badly that day, and I had said Kyle's name on air. I know we were facing a possible lawsuit from him. I didn't know what he was going to do. I just thought that if I had the tape in my hand, we would all be a lot safer. I can't tell you how many times I've stayed awake at night thinking about if I had just gone to the studio a little earlier that night. It doesn't matter. I don't know how long he had been there waiting. When I got to the studio and walked in, it was very dark. It was creepy in a way. I decided that I would try and find the lights. I headed towards the control room. All of a sudden, he was there, standing in front of me. He yelled at me.
I heard you.
It was like one of those bad dreams where you keep living it over and over again. You want to run and you can't. You want to scream and you can't. He was so close to me. The man who raped my daughter. I was so scared. I don't think I've ever been so afraid of anyone or anything in my life.
Maybe you ought to take a lesson from our pal here. Make too many enemies, you may find yourself on some marble slab one of these days.
Nice talk.
Take heed.
I don't have enemies.
You don't have friends.
But I don't have any enemies. Yeah, the medical examiner needs a new watch. This is the third time this month he's kept us waiting.
This report is really sloppy, Lane. What happened?
Weren't you here?
No.
Oh, that's right. You were sick. Well, we were short-handed. There were too many customers. I guess we missed a couple things.
That's an understatement.
Yeah, well, get it right this time.
You know how lucky we are they hadn't released him for burial?
Well, maybe the cops aren't doing such a hot job themselves. You want to get a cup of coffee?
Now?
You don't mind, do you, Barkley? Thanks, you're a sport. Come on, let's let the medical examiner cool his heels for a change.
People were ready to help you. People like Marley Hudson were willing to help a rapist get better maybe even start over, and I would have been there for you. You know that. I would have been there in spite of everything. I would have been there for you. But you, damn you, I was your friend. Doesn't that mean anything to you? Do you have to keep screwing up my life? Do you have to do that? Do you have to screw up the lives of other people?
You're losing it, Winthrop. Barkley's talking days are over.
Sorry. I just keep seeing his face.
Can we take a little break here, Detective?
No, actually, I think it's better if we forge ahead. You've come this far. We're here. Just tell us what happened next.
So Kyle Barkley was standing in front of you. Then what?
He demanded that I give him the videotape. Well, I wasn't about to do that. It got very loud. All of a sudden, he grabbed me. We struggled, and I pushed him away. I ran. He ran after me, but I got to the dressing room before him, and I shut the door and locked it. That's when I remembered the gun.
The gun that you and Victor had taken away from Lorna.
Yes. I really did put that gun in the dressing room in my vanity. When I got in there, I took the gun out, and I stood in the middle of the room. I waited for him. I thought he was going to kill me. I don't know how long I stood there. At some point, I thought maybe there was a chance he'd left. I mean, I didn't hear anything. So I unlocked the door, and I stepped out, and I walked to the stage again.
Were you still carrying the gun?
Yes, I was pointing it. I didn't hear him. I didn't see him. But I thought maybe I should leave by the back way, so I made my way around the back of the stage. All of a sudden, he jumped out, grabbed me, and we struggled, and I kicked him. Somehow got away. He was still coming after me. I fell into the chair. I fired the gun. I shot him.
He had it coming.
It was self-defense. Cut and dried.
We're not making any judgments here, Cass. We're simply gathering information, finally. Did you ever think that you had killed Kyle Barkley?
I don't know what I thought. I couldn't think.
Felicia, did it ever occur to you for a second that you had just killed a man?
I didn't care.
It's all right. It's over.
Dear God. I just didn't want him to come at me anymore. You understand?
Dee Dee, are you still out there? Did we leave this intercom on?
How's my favorite gumshoe? Iris Wheeler, of course. Well, yes, it might be quite some time, seeing you don't even recognize my voice. Well, I'm glad that you're still in the detective business, because I've got a top-secret job for you. Sleuthing after Jake McKinnon and Amanda Corey. Mm-hmm. Yes, my sister. Well, the two of them have seemed to have gotten to some deep, murky waters, and if they go under, I certainly don't want Corey going under with them. The usual. 24-hour surveillance everywhere. Oh, and, I want you to make some special notes about the time they spend away from the office together. Of course, they're beautifully photogenic, both of them. And I've become quite the little video nut lately, if you know what I mean. Listen, Nick. I want all their time. Business and personal. Meticulously documented.
It's just the sound of her voice I can't get back. Even when I concentrate very hard, I still can't really hear it. You know, the weirdest thing happened, though, the other day when I was eating those cookies.
What cookies?
You know, the ones that the lady dropped off from the hospital for John?
What do cookies have to do?
Yeah, nothing. It's silly. It's just that when I took a bite out of one of those cookies, suddenly I heard my mom saying, "Josie Watts, if you eat one more of those cookies, you're gonna be sick." It's funny. It was wonderful. I can't hear it now, though.
So, why do you think it happened then?
I don't know. Maybe because the cookies tasted just like the ones my mom used to make. Her oatmeal raisin with just a pinch of coconut. I never knew anyone else who did that. I didn't know you were going out.
Oh, you know, I just remembered an important errand I forgot to run. I'll be back. I'll see you later.
Bye.
Who's there?
Dr. Hudson.
Are you here about Louisa? Did the lab find something in her blood test?
No, not that I know of. Actually, I came by to see Kate Baker. Is she here?
Look, Felicia is not a murderer.
Yeah, well, Kyle's dead.
And she pulled the trigger. I'm sorry, Victor. We can't just send her home with a nice pat on the head.
She feared for her life. I can cite volumes of precedent.
Well, I'm sure the DA would just love to listen to everything you have to say, but unfortunately, we're gonna have to lock you up. I'm sorry, Felicia.
Felicia didn't kill him.
Morgan, the game is up.
It doesn't matter whether she shot
What
him.
the hell are you talking about, Morgan?
Kyle did not die from a gunshot wound.
What?
Hudson's here to... John Hudson is here to see her, please.
How'd you find out where we live?
I looked up the address in the hospital records. Why? Is something wrong?
It doesn't matter whether Felicia shot Kyle or not.
What are you talking about, Morgan?
Kyle did not die from a gunshot wound.
What?
Well, then how?
Are you sure about this, Morgan? Felicia just admitted that she fired at Kyle in self-defense.
You really did shoot him.
It's over, Morgan. Felicia spoke up. Nice try, though.
I appreciate what you're trying to do, Morgan, but I couldn't keep it up
It's
anymore.
okay, sweetheart. You didn't kill anybody.
Morgan, stop covering for
I'm
me.
not
You're in
covering
enough
for
trouble
anybody.
as it is.
This is a revised autopsy report, Ryan. Why don't you read the bottom line? Go ahead.
I don't believe this.
Tomas, if you don't mind, tell her again that I said thank you very much for those cookies. I haven't had homemade cookies like that since... Well, it's been a very long time. They're very good.
Kyle got hit in the back of the head so hard that the blood vessels ruptured inside the skull. The brain started swelling with the extravasated blood.
What is that?
It's the blood that leaks through the tissue.
Okay.
And eventually it caused incredible pressure.
Eventually? Like, not right away?
No, he may not have known how hard he was hit. When people first get this, they can walk around, they can talk.
Well, how long?
An hour, maybe 2.
But the blood, would it build up, and then what happens?
It would kill him, eventually. Without surgery, death is inevitable.
Kyle was a doctor. Wouldn't he know this was a possibility?
Well, again, he may not have known how severe the blow was.
So the real question is, when did Kyle receive the blow to the head? Was it before or after you fired the gun?
But wait, could he have hit his head hard enough when he fell when I had shot him?
No. If I'm reading this report correctly, you fired a bullet at a man who was already dying.
No matter what.
Blood loss from the bullet wound wasn't as significant as they originally thought.
I don't understand.
The bullet didn't pass through any vital organs.
Yeah, but what about the autopsy?
Yes, I mean, I thought he bled to death.
He did, but not from the shot in the chest. That could be survivable. The bleeding was in the brain. That's what happened.
Yeah, but what kind of idiot did this first cut-up job?
The same people who did the second one. And they're not idiots. They're pathologists, and they were completely swamped that night, and they went for the obvious. They went for a bullet wound near the heart.
So they screwed up.
It happens.
Yeah, but Felicia almost went to jail.
Yes, but I didn't. And that's because a smart cop asked for a second autopsy. So, what now? What does it all mean?
What it means is I have another question for you all. That question is, earlier that evening, who hit Kyle Barkley hard enough to kill him?
Hello?
Hi.
What can I get for you?
Well, an espresso would be great. And maybe some information.
About?
The drawings on the wall outside, the ones you passed by on the way in.
Oh, you liked them? You hated them? I didn't know anyone even looked at them.
I like them very much. Did the same architect do the design in here? Because it has the same feel. I like his use of the archways very much.
Yeah, me too. But, actually, it wasn't a he, it was a she.
Oh, well then I'd like her name. Well, no, actually, I'd like to meet her.
Well, you just did. It's me. I'm
you?
Brett Gardner.
Come on, it's a joke, right?
No, it's no joke.
Sorry, why are you waiting tables? I mean, do you own this place?
No, but I do pay rent.
I don't get it. Why hasn't some downtown firm grabbed you up?
Well, actually, they've tried, but, I would go bonkers in an architecture factory designing, garbage chutes and parking garages. I don't want to lose my, my style, my vision.
You're an idealist, Brett. I haven't met one of those for a long time.
Well, I don't know what I am. I just know that I wouldn't fit in that world.
Too competitive?
No, I mean, I don't care about being top dog. I care about design, about people, and the use of space as it relates to their character.
Huh. Well, you obviously have talent. Sounds to me like what you need is the right project.
Yeah, you could say that again.
Maybe I can help you there. You see, I've been wanting to build some...
wait. Stop right there.
What? What?
Are you trying to pick me up?
No.
Oh. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Continue.
I want to build a house. A very special home for myself.
Oh. Well, are we talking dream time in the immediate future? Or...
Right now, I have the perfect place. I bought that lot on North Cloverdale Drive, the one right next to the bird sanctuary.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
That's gorgeous. I mean, you'll see dusk and dawn from that hill.
Well, I will if I get the right architect.
Well, you've got everything there. You've got privacy, a stream.
Are you interested?
Are you kidding? I'm already inspired. I mean, I figured I'd see some vinyl-sided cookie-cutter nightmare.
No, please. No.
Wow, this is just amazing. I mean, that lot is crying for a vision.
Yeah, well, maybe we can see if ours are compatible. Could we talk about this a little more formally?
Well, sure. I mean, the first thought that comes to my mind is kind of building right into the hillside. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. Did you want your espresso first? I mean, I am still your waitress.
No. The espresso can wait, please.
Oh, that's great. Okay. So, my first thought...
What? I saw him pinning Marley against a car in a parking lot.
So you were able to see who he was?
It was dark, but yeah, I suppose there was
Well, you were
enough
also
light.
able to see him get kneed in the groin by Marley.
She kneed him, he buckled over, it was very fast.
I want to know exactly what you saw and exactly what you did.
She took off. He started getting up, he was yelling at her.
Friggin' man-hating
Hey, buddy, just cool down, all right? Cool down.
Get out of my way! Hey, you're not going after the lady, you hear me?
Hey, she's playing mind games with me.
All
Seriously,
right, just cool it
before somebody gets hurt, you hear? All right? Keep cool.
Go! I'm sick and tired of people trying to run my life, you understand?
Put it down, bud. You put it down.
Learn anything now? Huh? I don't like you. I quit. I quit, son. You leave the lady alone. You hear me? You're gonna pay for this, man. Leave her alone.
That was the last I saw of the guy. Now, will you leave me alone?
I'm afraid I can't do that. It appears as if you killed him.
You this week, as soon as I get a free moment.
Just like that?
Yeah. I'm a firm believer in first impressions. I like what I see. I like what I hear. There's no reason to wait.
Well, then I'm looking forward to hearing from you.
This has been a genuine pleasure.
Yes, for me too.
Thank you.
What was he doing here? He who? That pig. I can't believe you shook hands with him. Paulina, he wants me to design his house. I mean, he wasn't grunting.
What, does he want a torture chamber in his basement?
What are you talking about?
Didn't you get his name, Brett?
Well, no, actually, but it will be in the contract.
It's Spader.
That was Spader. That was Spader? Spader, the Spader that's trying to wreck John and Kelsey's lives?
That's him.
Victor, what if Lorna comes back and you're not here? Then what?
We know her, Felicia. We know there's little chance of that.
If you split, Ryan is going to come after you with a vengeance.
Well, let them. I don't care. I mean, they tried to pin this thing on me. They tried to set me up with this gun.
They didn't book you. Now, come on. We'll clear up this stuff with the gun.
How long do I have to put up with this? Once a con, always a con? I am fed up, just like Lorna was fed up. There's nothing that you can say that can stop me. Now, I've got to go.
Victor, if you find her, you're gonna bring her back?
That's the plan. But the less you know about this, the better.
He's right about that.
Honey, this is crazy. I mean, you don't even know where to begin.
But I do.
Look, as an officer of the court, I don't want to know any more. Morgan, come on, let's get out of here.
The first place to start is where we got that last postcard from. New Orleans, tonight.
If you do find her, just tell her I miss her, I love her. Would you?
I'll tell her everything.
Kyle Barkley died from a massive brain hemorrhage. Now, how hard did you hit him?
I don't know.
Damn it, Ian, how hard did you hit him?
enough to make a point, all right? The guy got up and walked away.
Well, I guess the damage had already been done then.
What are you talking about?
The man was dying.
Listen, he lived long enough to get himself shot.
Yeah, but you were the one who inflicted the cause of death.
That was an accident. Right?
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used
I am
against
not
you in
going
a court
with you.
of law.
I am not going with you. I would rather die than spend a second more in that stinking lockup. And I am not going to lose my life from something that you can't prove.
I have the autopsy report, Ian.
The guy was out of control.
Maybe you were the one who was out of control this time.
Yeah,
Maybe you were out of control.
You know that the judge is going to see it that way, don't you? I'm on parole. If I go back into a courtroom, I'm dead.
Agreed.
Listen to me. Listen to me. I did what I thought was right. I got involved.
You have to understand that you don't make the laws, nor do you enforce them.
And you wouldn't help Marley? Doesn't matter, does it? Doesn't matter what I say. The DA is gonna railroad me into a murder trial.
Second-degree murder. Manslaughter in the least.
That is not justice. You know that is not justice. You have to help me.
I guess I'd lose my badge for that, wouldn't I? There is another possibility.
What? Anything. Anything.
We deal.
I don't even recognize myself. What do I think I'm getting? I can't go back to this.
Look, I'm sorry, but that information is classified.
Brian,
Yeah, well, when are you gonna get it? Look, if we don't do...
She can see that.
She'll have a cow. She's angry that you took the company over in the first place.
I did what I had to do.
And it made her so angry that she ran away from home.
Look who's here.
Taken off. Between the patient petition and the staff petition, they have, what, 300-400 signatures already?
They sent them over to Dr. Spader's office this afternoon.
Well, I hope it helps. Today's a hearing, right?
Yes.
Yeah, in about a half an hour.
Well, I just want to let you know that we're pulling for you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And listen, please tell Kate that both of us would love to thank her in person one day.
Okay.
Good afternoon, doctors.
Dr. Spader?
Nice day for a lynching.
I've just been informed that the committee is waiting. If you'll come along, we can get the proceeding underway.
You're a little early.
Yes, the witnesses that we've scheduled, they'll be along shortly.
I'm sorry we can't keep the board members waiting. Shall we?
I went up against the judge who sentenced me the last time.
What happened?
You're a better liar than I thought, Mr. Rain.
I guess I'll have to get used to lying to Paulina.
You're gonna have to get used to lying to everybody if you want this deal to work.
What can I do? I work for you, or I get locked up for manslaughter.
Live with it.
Oh, I can live with it, Detective.
Can you? I'm not the issue here.
We're dealing with somebody you care about.
It's my job. I'm gonna need your full cooperation if you want this deal to work. You can't leave the country. There's no jumping bail this time.
I agree to the terms.
I want your word.
You have my word.
Hope I don't live to regret this. All right, the briefing that I gave you last night is still operational. However, we got some new evidence this morning. It changes the time frame.
What's the bottom line?
We gotta move fast, or else the deal falls through.
Hello, Rachel.
I'm glad you're home. Yeah.
Hello, Mom.
I realize my return might be difficult for some of you, but we're going to put our problems aside for today and concentrate on John and Kelsey's hearing.
Well, we weren't sure that you'd make it. What did you hear? Did you see Paulina's ad in the Times?
Yes, finally.
They'll save me a front row seat for the hearing.
Honey, I thought you had a math tutorial this afternoon. And since you're in danger of flunking trig, I'm afraid the best idea for you is to stay home and study.
How did you know that I was flunking trig?
I got my sources. Well, I'm going to go up and see Allie, and then we can leave for the hospital together, if you don't mind.
Well, is this a temporary visit, Rachel, or are you home for good?
Haven't decided, Iris.
Always keep them guessing, huh, Rachel? Never lose the element of surprise.
Oh, you might be surprised, too, Jake. Things are going to be a lot different around here from now on.
Boy, oh boy, won't we be lucky if you stay.
Yes, you will. Now, we would like some privacy. I'm sure you know the way out.
Watch your back, kids.
Mom, glad you're home.
How can he begin before our witnesses get here?
The last thing Spader wants is Rachel Corey messing up his witch hunt.
Shall we begin?
Well, I'm sure Doctors Hudson and Harrison are eager to put this unpleasantness behind them.
Actually, if you don't mind, we'd like to take a few minutes to see our witnesses.
Let's not waste any more of the board's valuable time. Doctor, please sit down. As Chief of Staff, it is within the scope of my duties to chair this hearing. However, since I am responsible for bringing this matter to the attention of the board, I have decided, in the interest of fairness, that I will not exercise that prerogative. I believe everyone here knows Mrs. Doris Endicott. Mrs. Endicott has served this hospital loyally and well for quite some time. And as a senior member of the board serving on this committee, Mrs. Endicott will now chair these proceedings. Mrs. Endicott.
Thank you, Dr. Spader. This committee will review the charges brought against Doctors Hudson and Harrison to decide if further disciplinary action is warranted and to what form that action may take. I believe Dr. Spader has an opening statement.
But he's not running the show.
Members of the board, Dr. John Hudson and Dr. Kelsey Harrison are without a doubt dedicated and accomplished professionals. It pains me to see their medical ethics come into question in this way, just as it pains me to have had to suspend them temporarily from my staff. Nevertheless, when ethical standards are broken and time-honored scientific procedures abandoned, it is not only the care of an individual patient, but the care of each and every patient in this hospital, both present and future, that becomes endangered.
Is it windy in here, or is it just me?
Since it has become clear that Doctors Hudson and Harrison not only ignored many of the rules and regulations of this hospital, but may indeed have broken federal law as well, I believe this board, acting in this case, must send a powerful message. I look therefore to this hearing not only as a simple, isolated disciplinary case, but as the first step in a series of actions that will ultimately bar John Hudson and Kelsey Harrison from practicing medicine in the future.
I'm not going to let this man railroad us.
Dr. Hudson, please take your seat.
Mrs. Endicott, I would like to respond to Dr. Spader's statement.
John, calm
down. We must be provided the opportunity to present our case. Now, we have witnesses who are willing to testify.
They're just not here yet.
May I remind you that we started these proceedings some 20 minutes early. And before Dr. Spader has the chance to have us drawn and quartered, I suggest that we take a short recess, at least until our witnesses arrive.
I assure you both you'll have every opportunity to speak on your own behalf.
Meanwhile, could we just hear exactly what happened?
Guess whose side she's on.
Ladies and gentlemen, I do not question Doctors Hudson and Harrison's commitment to saving lives. But in their zealousness, they have ignored the basic laws of medical science. They used an untested, potentially lethal drug on a patient.
We did exhaustive research.
Dr. Harrison, The chief of staff has the floor.
Yes, and he's using us to wipe it with.
This is all very irregular.
Frankly, I don't see why we can't be more accommodating. I have no objection to a different format. Perhaps some dialogue among us.
Does anyone object if we take a departure from the usual protocol?
Whatever speeds matters up.
Doctor, I believe you were telling us about your research.
Yes, we were very thorough. We tested the toxicity level of the drug in the lab before we administered it to the patient.
How is it then that you have not yet provided this committee with any written results of these tests?
Because, as I'm sure you are aware, Dr. Spader, our test results, along with the formula for the experimental drug, were erased from this hospital's computers.
I see. That's quite coincidental, isn't it?
Well, it's either pretty far-fetched or damned clumsy.
Does either of you have an explanation for this?
We believe that someone deliberately erased the files.
Why?
Your guess, Dr. Spader, is as good as mine, perhaps better.
So that, in fact, you have no actual proof that you ever ran any of these so-called safety tests?
I'm afraid not.
And even if you had, the drug you administered had no FDA approval. You didn't even apply for a waiver.
The woman was dying.
We had no choice.
Indeed, you did, doctors. You could have followed approved medical procedures.
For a disease that had never been seen in this country before.
Yet you chose to take your careers at risk, as well as the reputation and the accreditation of this institution.
I would like a chance to speak, please.
Who is this woman?
My name is Paulina Coria, and since this whole thing is about me, you have to hear what I have to say.
I'm sorry, you just can't burst in here and expect to testify.
May we assume this is the patient treated with the experimental medication?
That's exactly right. And the first thing I want you to notice about me is that I'm alive.
Well, we are all extremely glad to see that, but I suggest that you have no information to offer this committee.
And how would you know?
The patient's charts are on record. This committee has already received depositions from Mr. Jake McKinnon and Mr. Ian Rain confirming that Miss Corey did indeed contract this illness in San Cristobal. But that does not change the facts.
Damn straight it doesn't. The bottom line is I was dying. I had less than 12 hours to live, and John and Kelsey put together some research notes and came up with a wonder drug that saved my life. Now, I'm sorry if that offends your medical ethics, but I'd rather be sorry than dead.
Miss Corey, dramatic as this presentation is, you really can't attest to any of these events now, can you?
How can you say that? Here I am.
You were comatose at the time, weren't you?
Well, yes, but that doesn't
So
make...
you were hardly in any condition to observe their treatment or to give the doctors permission to experiment on you.
They didn't need my permission. They had my trust. I trusted them to do the right thing, and they obviously did.
If that concludes your statement, Miss Corey, you may leave now.
Oh, I don't think so. You see, I think my doctors could use a little support.
All right. You may take a seat. But if you disrupt these proceedings again, you'll be asked to leave.
Why do I get the feeling they've already made up their minds?
I think Uncle Spencer was right. Spader has them in his pocket.
Not quite.
John.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think I can settle this matter once and for all.
Came into this room, which has always been my refuge. I didn't feel anything. I just don't know where I belong right now.
You belong here.
You never should have left. I don't want to fight with you.
I'm gonna be late for the hearing.
Yeah, right. Listen. Let's go to the hearing, and, it's just one afternoon. Can we try to be a family?
Two things that are important to us, Jake.
Well, right now, Corey is numero uno.
I wish you'd consider my offer, Jake. Now, this is a chance for you to expand into other lucrative areas, don't you see?
Right. Like I said, I'm flattered, and I really do want to work with you again, Spencer, but right now is really not the time.
Is that your final decision?
Yes. Good luck, and I hope there's no hard feelings.
You've come a long way, Jacob. You've even mastered the art of the subtle kiss-off. Come on, Spencer. Let's not make a big deal out of this, okay? And that's one talent that you may come to regret. I think I'm gonna get back to the office now. Goodbye, Jake.
Corey was dying. That's when I made the decision. I was the senior staff member on this case. I gave the order, and I administered the experimental drug. That night, I said that I would take all responsibility. I take that responsibility now. If this board feels it must discipline someone, that someone should be me, not Dr. Harrison.
You can't do this.
Kelsey, sit down.
I won't. Look, when we took our vows, we said we would be a team. And no matter what happens, we'll face it together.
This display of emotional histrionics, though touching, has no bearing on these proceedings. Both Doctors Harrison and Hudson were directly involved with the care of the patient. They admitted that they collaborated on the development of an experimental drug.
Kelsey did not want me to use the drug.
Yes, I did. I approved of his decision. Now, I stood by him then, and I'll stand by him now.
Then you both were aware that there was a risk involved.
We did what we felt was in the best interest of the patient.
We saved the woman's life.
I see no reason to go any further. I urge the board to come to a final determination.
Oh, wait a minute. Please, you're not going to come to a decision without hearing all the facts, are you?
What the devil are you doing here?
I hear you're looking for some help setting up a club at the harbor.
How do you know about that?
Oh, you can stop looking, Mr. Harrison. I'm your man.
Okay,
My daughter was dying. I begged Dr. Harrison and Dr. Hudson to help. They explained to me how risky it was to administer this drug, but at the time it seemed like our only hope. So after careful consideration, I authorized the use of the drug. It was all my responsibility.
I should point out that Mrs. Corey is not actually related by blood to the patient, Paulina Corey.
No, she's my late husband's daughter.
You never actually adopted her then? Legally?
No, she came to us when she was of age.
Therefore, you have no legal standing. No right as next of kin to authorize the use of the drug. Dr. Hudson was well aware of this fact, and he deliberately defied regulations.
I see, so you're not going to let me finish, are you?
I'm sorry, I see no further point in continuing with this.
Would you be quiet and let her speak?
You don't know about the lawsuit, I guess.
Please go on, Mrs. Corey.
Dr. Hudson knew that unless he administered that drug, if my daughter had died, I would have slapped a malpractice suit against this hospital that would have shut you all down. Believe me, I would have done it, and he knew that.
What has she done?
It's not true. She never threatened me.
I promise you, I would have done it. And Dr. Hudson knew that.
Well, they helped a couple people that I really care about.
then what are we waiting for? We gotta get to the hospital.
Wait, what about your lesson?
Postponed. The only thing I want to co-sign is a petition for them to get their jobs back. Come on.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Corey, but did I understand you to say that you threatened to sue this hospital?
Yes, you did understand. You're a mother, Mrs. Endicott. Certainly you know the lengths to which a parent would go to save a child.
Let me remind the committee that Paulina Corey is not, in fact, Rachel Corey's daughter.
I didn't give birth to her, Dr. Spader. Is that what you're getting at? But I wasn't aware that that was a requirement for a parent. Or is that one of your regulations? I understand your tenure is full of them.
The job of this committee is to assess whether the treatment given by Dr. Hudson and Dr. Harrison was appropriate for the patient. Miss Corey's parentage is not our concern.
Then why did you bring it up?
Would you just continue, Mrs. Corey?
Sure. My daughter was dying. I learned that in this hospital there was a compound that might save her life.
An untested and unapproved compound.
I wouldn't have cared if it came from the underbelly of a jungle rat. Dr. Hudson understood that if my daughter died, I would have brought a suit against this hospital that might have shut it down. Now, he did what I asked him to do. He saved her life, and he saved this hospital from a lawsuit.
Rachel never said anything about a lawsuit.
I know. What do you think she's up to?
Something weird is going on here.
What do you mean?
I was there, remember? I mean, she told John to use the drug, but she never mentioned a lawsuit.
Well, maybe she was thinking it.
Regardless of your compulsion to threaten the staff here at BCG, we still feel that... Mrs. Corey, we are not finished.
Oh, I am. I'm finished with all of you.
Mrs. Corey, would you please sit down? We would like to continue. This hearing is very complex, and we want to make sure we have the information accurately to make a decision.
It's a gutsy move. I hope it works.
What's going on?
Mrs. Corey, this hearing is not over.
Yes, it is for me, you see. But you know, it's not too late. If you find against these two doctors, I promise you I will have spoken to my attorneys and made sure that they file a suit against this hospital on behalf of my daughter and myself. And if you have one word to say about my daughter's parentage, I will slap you with a slander suit so fast your head will spin.
We should try to calm down, Mrs. Corey. I realize that you are upset.
I guess upset doesn't cover it. Do you remember my husband? He gave from his considerable resources to this hospital.
Money is not the issue here.
And you know why he did that? Because he believed in this hospital. He believed it was giving the absolute best care to everyone.
And that remains true to this day.
I don't think so. I think that was over with when you suspended two of your best doctors.
Doctors who continue to flout hospital policy.
Yes, they took an enormous risk going against your sacred policies, but they upheld the Hippocratic Oath. They saved my daughter's life.
The fact that Paulina Corey survived after receiving untested, unproven drug therapy is a miracle in and of itself, which is why we find ourselves here in the first place.
These two doctors had no choice, and you know it. They behaved professionally and courageously. That's what fine doctors are supposed to do, aren't they, Dr. Spader? And fine doctors is what this institution has too few of at the moment.
Thank you, Mrs. Corey, for your time. I believe this committee has heard enough to make its decision. Dr. Spader, do you have something to add?
Yes, thank you. And thank you for your attention. Despite what we've heard this afternoon, I have nothing to change in my initial statement. As Chief of Staff, doctors, my recommendation is to abolish your privileges here at Bay City General and to bring this matter before the State Medical Board, urging that your medical licenses be revoked.
What a surprise.
Of course, I am only one member of this committee.
We will adjourn for discussion.
Well, I'm sorry I gave it my best shot.
No, you did great. You did great.
You think any of it helped?
I don't know. Spader's not likely to be easily intimidated. I hate to say this, but I think we should be prepared for the worst.
A gold shell on a shoe.
Brings a cop one step closer to the truth.
I have a warrant.
This is police harassment.
If those shoes match the footprint we found next to the body, it's a completely different ballgame.
Well, those shoes could be anywhere. Does he have enough evidence to find out who killed Curtis? Days of our lives.
I'm afraid I wasn't much help to John and Kelsey today. Thank you anyway.
I knew you'd come. I just knew it.
For all the good it did.
Well, you never know, Rachel. Intimidation, though not your usual style, does occasionally work.
Well, all I can say is I have never seen a more opinionated, self-righteous man than Spader in my life.
Got that.
It's incredible how intractable some people can be, isn't it?
Well, the important thing is that you said your piece. Hopefully your influence still means something around here.
Yeah, well, we'll see, won't we?
Rachel, can I talk to you for a minute, please?
Sure.
Thanks.
Excuse us.
Well, I can see you're not getting on any better with your mother than when she left.
She's going through a rough time, Iris.
Yeah, I wish you'd just let us in.
I know you're probably mad that I went to New York looking for you, but John and Kelsey are in so much trouble that
Honey,
I just...
you don't have to apologize to me. I would have done the same thing.
I know putting an end in the Times is a bit over the top, but I just
It's
couldn't
all
think
right.
of any other way to...
I saw it. I'm here, aren't I?
Good. Because I couldn't rely on Carl to tell you. We saw him, you know, Jake and I.
Jake, I should have known.
Rachel, Carl played us for a couple of fools, and I was afraid that he was going to do the same thing to you. I'm sorry, this is coming out so wrong. I want to know what's going on with you, but I don't know how to ask.
Well, you just have. But I'm not going to talk about it today, okay? I want to talk to John. So, any word?
No, our illustrious colleagues had just adjourned to the back room when we left. This may take a while.
Well, at least we'll know one way or the other. These weeks of waiting have been awful.
I'm sure they have. I'm so sorry I wasn't here earlier.
Well, I'm not sure that it would have mattered. Rachel, as a matter of fact, after today, I'm not sure of much of anything. But I have to ask you, why did you say what you did in there?
You don't remember my threat?
Frankly, no.
Well, it was a very confusing and intense time.
Intense, yes, but...
Paulina was dying. I would have done anything to help her, John. But if she had died, and if I'd felt this hospital had prevented you from going to the mat for her, I would have done anything to shut this place down.
I believe that.
Spader's the kind of guy that strains out gnats and swallows camels. I just gave him a camel, that's all. Let's see if he swallows. If he does, you got your jobs.
Thank you.
What's the matter? I thought you wanted to see your grandmother.
Yeah, I do. But what am I gonna say to her, Tomas? Hey, Graham, so you stretched the truth just a little bit?
Sometimes people have very good reasons for lying.
It can't be. She must have said it. They just didn't hear it.
Please go on inside and make yourselves comfortable. My secretary will bring up some refreshments. If there's anything in particular that you'd like, just ask.
Well, aren't you coming along, Alton?
Yes, I'll be along in a moment. I just want to make sure that all of my paperwork is organized. If 2 doctors lose their licenses, I damn well better be prepared.
I've never seen Rachel Corey so angry in my life.
Well, Rachel Corey does not run this hospital. It's about time someone let her know that.
So you've decided to take on Rachel Corey, have you? Yes. Her name's Hutchins.
What do you want?
I want the same that Rachel Corey wants. I want justice. But I'm not as polite as she is. I know this is difficult for you. But then you're a practical man, Alton, isn't it? And you'll know that you've done the right thing. Well, I must be off. I presume you want this to remain between the 2 of us.
Whatever you say, Mr. Hutchins.
Look at me. Don't be such a poor sport. It doesn't suit a man of your position any more than do your proclivities. I'll let myself out.
You do that.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Board members are very long-winded, especially Doris Endicott.
I guess it takes one to know one, huh, Iris?
Here she comes.
Excuse me. The disciplinary committee is reconvening in the boardroom.
Thank you. We'll be in a minute. Look at you guys. No matter what happens in there, Kelsey and I would both like to thank you for coming here tonight. Your friendship means a great deal to us. more than we could ever say.
Now, why would anyone not want those two as doctors?
Come on. We'll get in there somehow.
Matt, hey.
Hey, when did you get here?
A couple minutes ago. Listen, I know you want to stick around for John and Kelsey, but do you think we could talk a little bit later?
Who am I saving you from this time? Spencer again?
No. I just need to talk. Okay? For old time's sake.
Yeah, sure, when this is over, okay?
Was that Josie Watts?
Yeah, she came back to town around Christmas time, I think.
I had no idea.
Well, a lot has happened since you left Bay City, Mom.
Yes, Amanda. More than you know.
Okay, guys, let's get back in there, all right? Do you think we could lynch Spader if this thing goes the wrong way?
Ah, it's a thought.
I can feel the cool breeze as the axe slices its way through the air towards the back of our necks.
You know, if we do get fired, I think you should get a job as a copywriter for TV commercials.
That good, huh?
Yeah.
Thank you.
For what? Trying to make you laugh?
No. For marrying me.
See, that wasn't so hard.
Yeah, with your grandma right behind us, it was a breeze.
I mean it, Rachel. If the committee finds against them, I want us to go ahead with the lawsuit against the hospital. We'll sue them individually, together, whatever it takes.
Yeah, well, hopefully it won't get to that.
We've carefully deliberated, doctors, and we've reached a conclusion.
Doris, let me take it from here.
This guy is such a showman.
As we have stated from the very beginning, a very serious breach of ethics has taken place here. And it is the duty of this hospital and this committee to address that.
I hate this guy. I really do.
Dr. Hudson and Dr. Harrison both neglected their duties when they administered a drug that had not yet been approved for use by the FDA. A memorandum to this effect will be placed in both of their files.
Why is he dragging this out?
To make us miserable.
We will also take note that disciplinary action has already been taken against them in the form of a month's suspension of their duties already served. This will be the full sum of the hospital's actions against them.
What?
This committee has concluded, and I concur, that Dr. Hudson and Dr. Harrison are both valuable members of this medical community. And even though their actions in regard to procedure were ill-advised, they did, in the end, save Paulina Corey's life. They are to be reinstated effective immediately.
I believe this concludes the work of this committee. Thank you for your time.
Mom, you did it.
I don't know about that. Very pleased. Oh, gosh, I knew having you come back would make all the difference.
Oh, I don't know about that, honey. One never knows why people do the things they do.
Congratulations! I know, you must be. Is it true about you and Carl? Were you involved with him?
I don't want to talk about this here, sweetie, later. All right?
Hey, you guys.
Oh, you who single-handedly just defeated Spader.
Oh, no, I didn't,
Yes,
sweetheart.
you did.
Hi, Josie. Sweetie, it's nice to see you. How are you?
She's a big Hollywood star, that's how she
Really?
is.
I'm very impressed.
Oh, don't be. John's making a bigger deal of it than it is. So congratulations. You guys must be pretty relieved,
Well,
huh?
relieved doesn't begin to cover it.
Thank you so much, Rachel.
Honey, don't thank me. I'm not convinced I did it.
Tomorrow, we're going to be knee-deep in insurance forms and admission slips, and I, for one, couldn't be happier.
Why don't I give my favorite girl a ride home?
Oh, your favorite girl would love that.
My car's right outside. We can take off right now.
Okay, great.
Besides, we need a chance to catch up. I want you to tell me everything you've been up to.
Yeah, sure.
Listen, everybody, Amanda and I have got a great idea.
We would love if you all came back to our house for a party. Is that okay with you, John and Kelsey?
Great. Are you kidding me? After today, I am Bay City's newest party animal.
To say goodbye, I'm heading back to the motel.
Wait a minute, no. You stay here. We need to talk. You didn't say 2 words the whole way home.
I know.
You gonna tell me what's going on? Or is it that you don't trust us anymore?
All right, I'll stay. But I'm going upstairs, and I don't want to be disturbed, all right?
Hey, guys, that was Felicia on the phone. She's clearing some tables for us at Tops. What do you say?
I say party on. What do you say?
Yeah, whatever you want.
John, is something wrong?
Kelsey, I have to go someplace and it really can't wait. Let's get our coats.
Why? Where are we going?
The hospital.
John.
No, we won't be long, I promise. Come on. Thought you might still be in here.
Come to gloat, Dr. Hudson. How like you?
No, not remotely like me. But then you never took the time to find out about anyone on this staff, did you?
Oh, so now my administration is in question.
You were out for blood. You wanted me out of here so bad you could taste it.
You were disciplined to my satisfaction, Dr. Hudson. Let it go.
Just one question. Something scared the hell out of you today. And it wasn't Rachel Corey. Who was it, Doctor? Who made you change your mind about us?
I was wondering when you would appear.